What's going on, people? Welcome to the first opposition preview of the season. It's a curtain raiser, and for the first time in our history, we'll be facing Liverpool in the Community Shield after winning the FA Cup. We'll be facing the champs, and trust me, there's a lot to talk about. Mark Gahey, what can we expect from Liverpool? They've been moving a bit crazy for my liking in terms of spending and some of the players that they're bringing in and much more. As always, let us know your thoughts in the comment section down below, and check out Kopish as well. The link will be in the description down below. Of course, I'm joined by Cal. Cal, how you doing, man? You've been excited this preseason. I've seen a few of your streams. You've been talking big, big money.
Yeah. I'm not humble anymore, bro. You know when people say like money don't change you. It does still. Like,
it does. It does. I've been seeing you. You were always humble, and all of a sudden, I watch the streams and just you're just getting it all out.
Yeah, I'm not humble anymore.
In terms of your pre-season so far, and how your season ended last time around, what's the general feeling like amongst Liverpool fans going into the new season?
I think the only thing that could have made this summer window better was not the loss of Jota. The loss of Jota was like, it's weird because obviously everyone goes through loss in life, unfortunately, and I never knew Jota personally, never met him, never spoke to him, but he felt like he was a part of us. And I don't know if it's because he was such a family guy, such a humble guy, that maybe that's probably what hit everyone so hard. But that it hit hard. It really hit hard for a lot of Liverpool fans, including myself. And I think that's the only thing that's been a dampener on this summer window. Obviously, there's still work to be done. We spoke before we started about Mark Gahey and the centre-back situation for Liverpool. Isak is still ongoing. Plus, I think we probably need another wide forward as well as Isak as well. But, bro, in terms of a summer transfer window, couldn't really ask for much more from the club, man. Like, they've gone above and beyond for what you'd expect a club who just won the league to deliver. In terms of how we ended the season on the pitch kind of fizzled out because we won the league pretty early. But again, the celebrations, we were fortunate enough to go up to the parade as well. And the parade was amazing, barring the one incident that happened. Obviously, you guys won FA Cup. So even the last game of the season, like, because our clubs don't have any beef or any issues, we were able to do the double guard of honor. And for me, that was
a lot of parade on the same day. The parade was on the same day.
Well, I will say, again, I'm not a Palace fan anyway, because I've grown up around Palace. I know the area and I know everything about like what's going on. One thing that really frustrated me from the outside looking in was just how badly the parade was done. Like, like not by you guys, but like by Croydon Council and the powers that be. They should have really gone above and beyond they should have really gone above and beyond. They should have gone above and beyond because like it's the first trophy. And it's not like you fluked your way through it. You played brilliant to get there. You beat Villa in the semi-finals and a beat Man City in the final. They should have gone all out to give you fans something that you actually deserved. And that for me was the one annoyance from the outside looking in.
Yeah. Can you do a parade for Community Shield? I don't know. We haven't been.
I'm hoping you don't. I'm not looking to find out, bro.
There's no way to find out. Maybe we can make up for it. No, I'm joking. There's no parade for Community Shield. But of course, next year we'll see what happens with European football, which no one knows yet. If we're going to be in the Europa League or the Conference League, we'll find out the day after the Community Shield.
Sorry to cut you, bro.
Yeah.
How many signings have you made, and has this European situation affected your transfer business as well?
Yeah, our signings, there haven't been enough. It hasn't been enough. We've only spent £3 million, and we've only signed 2 players: backup goalie Walter Benitez, and also Sosa, who came from Ajax for €3 million. I think we spent less than £3 million, probably £1 million, £2 million, which doesn't make any sense, right? Because you just won the FA Cup. You've got Glazer as your manager. You'll be playing in Europe next season. The only thing, and recently, last 24 hours, we've lost Evan Gossand potentially to Aston Villa. It seems like they're taking him over. And that's what's kind of upset a lot of Palace fans. It's like, this is the time to push on and kick on. However, as you mentioned, I think the European situation does play a part. And I have said that, personally, for me, I understand why the club would want to wait, because the Conference League money compared to Europa League money is different. You have a different budget. Even though you might have a short list of players, the quality of players, it can vary. So you might be able to go for a better player if you get the Europa League, which is annoying, of course. We get the verdict 6 days before the season starts. But I'd rather get the better player if you potentially play in Europa League than just rush something a week before. But saying that, I also understand the frustrations of the fans because we've barely spent any money this window. Even if we had no Conference League or Europa League, you would expect us to be able to spend £30 million.
Yeah,
like it should be a big problem. So in that regards, is a bit frustrating. But also the UEFA situation didn't help us because they dragged it on for so long before making a decision where we had to make an appeal. By the time we made an appeal, this is it. Like this is the closest that we can get a verdict. If they made the decision back in June or early July rather than mid-July, then I think this would have been solved beforehand. We're in a Conference League draw. We've done a reaction for it, but we don't even know if we're going to be in that competition.
Yeah. So when did you say the verdict is? Six days before the start of the season?
Yeah, on Monday. So the day after the Community Shield. So that's going to be a crazy 2 days.
It really will.
Exactly. Yeah, it's going to be a crazy 2 days. But in terms of the Community Shield, as a Liverpool fan, do you really care about it? I mean, you love being spoiled for choices when it comes to trophies, but I've seen some big clubs say, "Oh, it's Community Shield. No one, I don't know, who cares about it." But what's your stance on it, honestly?
All right, so I'm very consistent with this, and it's why some Liverpool fans dislike what I say on YouTube. I want to win the Community Shield.
How comes?
Because I don't understand where this arrogance has come from. In terms, it's more so a big club thing. This arrogance of tiering competitions. I get it. If you win. If like, say, for example, I don't know, Newcastle were to say to you guys, the League Cup's a bigger trophy than the FA Cup, then I'd be like, well, it's not. It's not.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to downplay Newcastle's achievement in the same way I'm not going to downplay Palace's achievement. I've never understood this whole notion that a trophy doesn't matter. I want to win every single trophy, bro. I want to win every single game Liverpool play. I just want to win. And I tell you what will happen. If we win the Community Shield, we'll all celebrate. If we lose the Community Shield, most
like,
Liverpool fans will go, who cares?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I know.
So for me, I'd rather be consistent and tell you from the off, I want to win it, bro.
Yeah. I guess your manager would want to win it as well. That would have been.
Yeah, I'd be shocked if he doesn't.
But what has he spoke about the Community Shield so far? Glasner said, like, I know based on what we saw last season, I'm not even talking about FA Cup, based on how we approached every single game. I know he means it when he says we want to win another trophy. Like, I can see it. He backs it up. But in terms of slot and how your preseason has gone so far, do you think the Community Shield has come at the right time, or?
I don't think there's a right time or a wrong time for Community Shield for us. We're going to be doing deals up until maybe the last week of the window, I'd suspect, given how much work we've still got to do. So I don't think it's come at a bad time. The fact that we've got most of our team available is a good thing, because sometimes we go into these games and most of the players aren't available or they're not fit. Mo's had a good preseason. Virgil's had a pretty good preseason. Alisson had to fly back because of personal reasons. Mamadashvili, our new backup goalkeeper. So in terms of being prepared for the game, I wouldn't see any reasons why we wouldn't be. For me, there's no excuses if we lose. If we lose, it'll be because you guys are the better team, barring some sort of controversy or anything like that. Yeah. So I can't sit here and be like, oh, no, we're underprepared. No, the players have had a pretty decent preseason. Even the new players have come in, they've come in fit and sharp as well. So I'm expecting a good performance from the guys. It's not going to be a perfect performance because it's still early in the season, but I want the win. I'm kind of expecting it as well. Not in a disrespect.
You are the favourites.
Yeah,
you are the favourites. And you signed a lot of quality players. Talking about some of those players, I mean, for those who haven't looked at Liverpool transfers, Ekitike, Wirtz, Isaac, of course, won't be there, but I think he will join you lot before the window ends. I mean, you lot looking scary. Frimpong, Kirkes, of course, he was at Bournemouth. Are we expecting all or some of these new players to be featuring in this game? How's it looking like in that regard?
So, all right, that's a tricky one. So I think we'll be forced to play Mamadashvili in goal because of Alisson's personal situation, which we don't even know what it is, but we hope it's nothing too bad. I think Frimpong will start because Conor Bradley's not fully fit. I think Kirkes will start. I think Kanate and Virgil will start as well. And then I think in the midfield, I think will be Sobo and Grav, because I think Max still easing his way back into off after an injury. Wirtz, I think, will play in the 10. Gakpo left, Salah right, and then I do think Ekitike will start. So that'll be Mamadashvili, Frimpong, Kirkes, Wirtz. Okay, so 5 new starters from the quote unquote 11 that finished the season. So yeah.
Yeah, well, you're after one player from us as well, Gehi. He won't be starting for you lot. He'll be starting for us. But what's your stance on that situation? how much do you want, Gay? If you do, because we respect like you kind of mentioned Kanai being a better option, etc. So what's your stance on that? Let the world know.
All right, so I feel like I'm in trouble. So shall I tell you what it is? When the Konate news started leaking out that potentially he wasn't going to sign a new contract, what I saw a lot of Liverpool fans doing was starting to downplay how good Konate is, and it frustrated me a lot because for me, Konate and Virgil was the best partnership in the league last season and one of the best in Europe. So I'm like, okay, you can't have a partnership unless both players are good. We all know Virgil's supremely fantastic, but Konate had a very, very good season as well. Because it was rumors coming out that he weren't going to sign a new contract, Liverpool fans started like talking about like he was trash almost. And then when we got linked to Mark Gay, he was like, "Oh yeah, Mark Gay's way better than Konate." And I'm like, "Hold on, guys." I was like, and then maybe but this is from a Liverpool standpoint, bro. No Liverpool fan during the season that I spoke to was like, "We need to go and get Mark Gay in the summer." Not in a rude way, but no one mentioned it. The moment Konate had his situation, the moment we were linked with him, Liverpool fans started downplaying what Konate done, and for me, overrating Mark Guehi. Yeah. In terms of a defender, a centre back, Mark Guehi is very good. For me, he's the best option on the market right now. I just don't know if he's world class. I don't know if he'll become world class. Even though I think he's very good, I need to see whether he can grow from being at Palace to being at Liverpool, where the expectations are so much greater and everything's put under a microscope. So again, no disrespect to Palace, but he might have a bad game at Palace and only the Palace fans and the team that he plays against will really know. If you have a bad game at Liverpool, you get memed up. The whole world knows about it. You might never recover from that bad performance. So I need to see those intricacies and see whether we can handle it. But in terms of his leadership, playing out from the back, him being so comfortable on the ball, I don't think he's great in the air, but he's not rubbish in the air considering he's not the tallest of centre-backs. He's strong on the ground, good in his duels. I'd be over the moon if we signed him. I just don't think he comes in as a starter, which is why I have my reservations of whether he will sign this summer as well.
Yeah, but he played for England for the Euros. Like the expectations for England are they not high? Like he was a star for England in the Euros, and I thought he was.
Oh, he was England's best defender. No two ways about it. But that was in a back three in a very pessimistic formation, which sometimes does help defenders. But again, we've also seen him under Glasner, where you can play out from the back and you can press high and all those things. So I wouldn't be worried if we signed him. In fact, I'd be over the moon because my thing is I want to see Virgil rested this season. And if Guehi's the guy that comes in to replace Virgil or Guehi's the guy that comes in to replace Konate, I'm not sitting there worried about it. So for me, I'd love us to sign him. I just don't think we will.
Why? Why don't you think you will? Do you think it's more about Palace or do you think it's about Liverpool? Because you're going after Isaac, you spent a lot of money, but also you sold players as well. You've been smart about your business. So do you think it's a money aspect or do you think that you're worried about Palace playing the long game?
I think it's a bit of both. I think Liverpool have a valuation in their mind that they don't want to go over. And I think Palace rightly have a valuation where they're going, we're not going to go under. And usually you can meet in the middle. I don't think Palace are willing to change their stance. But one thing that for me stands out the most, Mark Guehi, he's not going to force a move. You see it with Isak at the moment. Liverpool's valuation and Newcastle's valuation is way apart. But Isak is saying, I want Liverpool. I'm going to Liverpool. So you make it happen. Guehi's come out from quite early saying, look, I'm not going to force a way out. I'm going to remain professional and do what I need to do. So, and I think that plays a role. And let's be real, it's kind of a reason probably why the management team and the play and the people that be probably respect Mark Guehi even more for having that stance and being so professional in that situation. So it probably makes us want him at the club even more.
Yeah. Well, it's not only just him. Eze it has been another player that's been linked to with a move away from the club.
What's your thoughts on that?
I think the trend that started all of this was Michael Elise. I think these players have seen how we treat Michael Elise. He stayed for another year. Even then, he didn't have to. We gave him a new contract, but he just had another, I don't know. The release clause was a bit more respectable than the £35 million. And to this day, Michael Elise, I think, during the summer was using Crystal Palace facilities when he comes down. He comes down, he's still, cool with the players, the manager and stuff like that. So I think that's the biggest thing. I think these players, regardless of what happens, there'll be legends in the football club because they're the first ever to do it. The Guehis, the Ezes, etc. But I've always said this stance. I think Eze is open to a move to Arsenal, but it's not like Isaac. He's not going to ruin his reputation with the football club to force him move, because he's also happy at Palace. As you mentioned, it's the World Cup year. And I think Gay's thinking about that. And I think Eze's thinking about that.
Yeah.
If you're talking about Gay going to Liverpool, sitting on the bench, that will impact his, I think he'll still get called up, but it might mean that someone else gets a nod ahead of him. And I think that's the same with Eze. If he goes to Arsenal, if he's not a regular starter, then that could impact him. So I think with Gay, his situation kind of different to Eze, because at the end of next season, he'll be a free agent, so he can sign with whoever and maybe get even a better deal because there'll be no transfer fee involved. But with Eze's situation, I think if Arsenal was serious enough right now, Eze would be at Arsenal Football Club. I find it kind of disrespectful what Arsenal are trying to do, trying to say we'll bid below the release clause. Why would we accept it below the release clause?
Yeah, what
£50 million on Madueke?
Yeah, I've heard conflicting rumors. I've heard one, they're gonna try and bid under the release clause, as you said, but the other one was they're gonna bid the release clause but try and structure a deal as opposed to just paying the 68, because that's what a release clause is. It's the money's there, the stipulation is there, pay the money or that's it. Or if you're gonna structure a deal, then you have to go over the release clause. So if the release clause is 68, you might have to go up to 75, but then you structure a deal. But it doesn't seem like
it doesn't sound like they will be doing that, because from what I've heard is that they want to pay below it. And the release clause is meant to expire actually in about 10 days or so.
Yeah, I thought
9 or 10 days. It expired around the 30th or 14th of August last year. So this year they're saying around the 15th, 16th. I think it depends on the transfer window. I think it's 2 weeks before the window actually shuts. Palace don't want to get rid of Eze. So when it comes to it, the terms are set. And it's a case of Arsenal matching those terms and getting them. But I don't know how serious they are. I genuinely don't know how serious Arsenal are.
Arsenal weird. Because I'll be real with you, I wouldn't be surprised if they wait until like the final hour to just put the money down. They did that with Partey back in the day as well.
They're also weird in the regards of, we've seen it before, they always have the one missing piece. And they signed Madueke for £50 million. And I personally feel like Arteta is a freak. He will start him left wing. Like, I don't like, they expected him to be a right winger backup option to Saka. But it wouldn't surprise me, for example, if it was any other club, any other big teams, I'll be like, you know what? They're just going to do it. With Arsenal, I genuinely don't know. They've done this with Zaha before, and they ended up going in and getting Pepe because they didn't want to match the release clause. Yeah. So Arsenal, if they were serious enough, I mean, they'll get him today. Yeah,
it's a weird one. It is a weird one.
Because he's been linked before Madueke. He's been linked before Gyökeres and all of these players. But some of the reports are also suggesting they're not too sure. Like, it doesn't seem like the heart is fully in it. It's like, we'll make a deal, but only if a deal works for us, which I don't think Palace are going to want to upset Glasner and get rid of Eze anyways, if Eze is not desperate to leave and not going to sulk. So it's a case of you match the clause. And after the release clause, by the way, I would be shocked if he was to leave, because there's a reason why we have that. We don't want to lose him in the final week of the window shutting. It's not going to help us. So I think they've got about 9 or 10 days or so, and then we move on from there. But let's see what happens. The days are going fast, and so far there's been nothing pretty much new in that regards. I mean, apparently I haven't had no contact with Palace so far. So
do you think anyone else comes in for Eze?
I don't know. Look, Bayern Munich was linked, and then it just went quiet. I would love that move for him and Elise, but then I don't think that's going to happen now. They got Diaz from you lot, so they spent a decent amount of money. And Tottenham, they're not serious enough. I mean, there's been nothing in that regards. I don't know if they're paying.
I can't see him moving to Tottenham unless Arsenal categorically tell him we're not going to bid for you.
Yeah, so I don't know. It's a bit difficult. But right now, as it stands, I'm not that worried about losing Eze. As it stands. Yeah. At the start, I was, because I was like, damn, the release clause is there. If they want him, they're going to get him.
Are you worried about losing Gahey then?
No, because I feel like Gahey genuinely wants to stay. I think the club are more keen on letting Gahey go than how much Gahey wants to stay, because we don't ideally want to lose him for free.
Yeah.
So I think, but Gahey is like, I'm happy here. Like, I'll wait for another year and then I'll go next year, because for him, everything's perfect. If he plays at Palace, he's going to get called up to the England squad for the World Cup. Another year, potentially with Oliver Glasner, will be competing in European football. And then next year he can get better wages. I think Gahey's relaxed. I think us as a football club, we're a bit confused on the matter, because we don't want to lose him for free. Yeah. So I don't know what we're going to do. Does he sign an extension for 1 more year? He doesn't want to sign an extension. That's the thing. So I don't know. Maybe we lose him in January. If not now, maybe you lot come in for him then. So maybe it'll be a bit cheaper. So we'll see in that regards. Let's move on to score predictions. How do you see this one going? I'll be honest. I'll be going to the game.
I'll be there as well. We might link up then.
Exactly. I don't know. I'll start off with 2-1 Palace. I have to back the boys. I mean, we've been Wembley 3 times. It's gonna be our third time. We've been Wembley twice before this. Aston Villa 3-0, City 1-0. We haven't conceded a goal so far in our visits, and I think you lot will score. But I don't know. I feel like Oliver Glasner he's a lunatic. He's gonna take this serious like the Champions League final. So we'll see. But how do you see it going?
I can see this being a draw and then going to penalties.
I don't like penalties, even though Dean Henderson's quite good at penalties. I mean,
if it goes to penalties, I'd back our boys to win it. But I can see it going to penalties. One, Liverpool seem to love a penalty shootout at Wembley. But also, as you said, like Glasner has a style that can really stifle slot. Like we saw it in the last game of the season. Again, people say that.
Though. I think you'll see different, like even a better version.
Yeah. Here's the thing, though. We can't use that excuse to be like, we were on the beach. You guys were on the beach as well.
Yeah, we were.
So it was a no-pressure game, and we saw how many problems you gave us. So I don't think it's going to be a game where it's easy for us. I think we will get a goal, but I think we may concede as well because we don't look as defensively resolute as we did at the beginning of last season. But I do think we'll go to penalties, and I think we'll win it on penalties.
Let us know your score predictions in the comment section down below. As always, make sure to check out Kopish and Cal, and they've been doing brilliantly over the summer. They've been enjoying it, man. Win the league, spend all this money, get all these world-class players. You've had the opposite of us. We've been we won FA Cup. We haven't had any moment to relax and enjoy it so far. So yeah, make sure to check them out, and then we'll be back for the preview, which will be dropping tomorrow, and also reaction, watch along. So we'll be having many more content coming up. It's going to be a busy season over at Back of the Nest. But until next time, up the Palace.